Hey, I'm Byron Talbott. I'm here in Malibu, California, just a few minutes north of where I live, just checking out what this great coastal town has to offer. There's tons of restaurants, beaches around here, and we're here to check out the Sunset Restaurant to be inspired to make our own seafood dish. We're here at Sunset Restaurant to meet Chef Drew Eisen to talk about the oyster bar that they just opened up and what it's like to have a restaurant in Malibu. Hey, Chef.
Hey, what's up, man?
Pleasure
Good to have
meet
you out.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to Sunset.
So tell us a little bit about this restaurant.
The Sunset Restaurant is kind of a hip restaurant right here in Zuma Beach, the heart of Southern California surfing. We're the only restaurant around right on the beach, right on the sand.
What is it like, to have this sort of environment?
Work's hectic here. We're a high volume restaurant, but then after work, if I want, I could strip down and run and jump in that ocean and just wash it all away. So, I mean, the food here is like casual fine dining, We want to keep it casual for the people coming off the beach. You could get your fish tacos or you could get a burger if you want. We definitely have a lot of seafood, lobster, prawns, and we have an oyster bar downstairs.
Yeah, I just have to go try a few oysters. Is that all right?
Let's go.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Very cool. All right. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool spot.
Yeah, man.
It's got a cool vibe going on, man.
Yeah, you
really
kind of have that old school feel to it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what you got in the case?
We got us some head-on prawns here, some cherry stone clams, and we have 3 types of oysters right now. We have some paradise oysters right here, some Melpecs, and some Fanny Bays.
You want to shuck a couple?
Let's do it. We'll give you a Fanny Bay. We'll go head to head.
Where are these from?
These are from British Columbia. It's a creamy oyster.
Okay.
They're a bit briny. They're very plump.
So I've shucked a few oysters in my day.
I'm sure.
See if I can get out of here.
Oh, sure. I'm going to get the one bad oyster that's hard to shuck. There you go.
That's a beautiful oyster. Ready?
All right.
Really creamy, really
creamy.
sweet. Nice brininess to it. So this was absolutely fantastic. I have to make my own oyster recipe. This is great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man.
Yeah. So there's nothing better than an oyster. The great thing about today's recipe is I'm gonna be char grilling them. So for those of you who sort of steer clear of the raw oyster bar, I think this is gonna be a great bridge. This recipe is super simple, but the only thing you're really gonna run into with difficulty is opening one of these oysters. These things are slammed shut, so you kind of have to pry them open with this little utensil, an oyster shucking knife. I get a nice cloth, it's gonna give you a nice firm grip on an oyster. Expose this little indentation right here, which is the muscle that really is holding this shut. You're gonna wanna sort of shimmy it back and forth, trying as best you can not to break the shell. Stick the oyster knife inside the oyster, and you have to disconnect a very vital muscle. And this runs all the way through. And once you've done that, it should just really pop open. This one is Kumamoto, which is from Pacific Rim, close to Japan. So now I'm gonna really get onto my compound butter, and this is really gonna be dolloped on top of each oyster, replacing some of the moisture that's lost during grilling. So we'll take a couple of these pads of butter. Now I'm just gonna chop my herbs and get them ready. That's like a tablespoon or so. And I'm gonna grab some chives, give it that onion flavor. Give it a little cracked black pepper. It's just a rough mix, Nice, really saturated herb butter. I'm just gonna put these on the grill, get them ready to go. And really it's just set it and forget it. It's not one of those things you really have to keep an eye on. They'll cook on their own. They have a nice thick shell. They'll take care of themselves. Because I'm pairing this with a cider, I went with an apple slaw that elevates the crispness and really plays with those flavors. I'm slicing up some apples and some celeries into nice thin match-like sticks. Really all I have to do is add some acid to this, and half a lemon should be good. Through the fingers, through the hands. Now I'm gonna add some creme fraiche. It's very light, very creamy. It's gonna make this slaw a slaw. So I'm gonna add just a tablespoon or so to it. Just a little bit of salt, and of course some cracked black pepper. The oysters look like they're done. It's been about 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna take these off the grill. Here I have a salt bed to keep them from sliding around. Just gonna put a little bit of this apple slaw in here. So I'm gonna give it a little pour of this cider. Each piece of this recipe is complementing each other. I'm gonna hear the crunch in my brain right now. It's so crisp. Got a creamy creme fraiche to it. The butter really seeps into the meat of the oyster, and the dry finish of the cedro just works perfectly. So with all that said, head out to the beach, grab some oysters, grab some apples, make a day of it, get your shuck on, and really just have some fun. On next week's episode of Coastal, join me as I head to San Francisco to check out the ferry building and make a delicious crab sandwich recipe. Be sure to subscribe to Tastemade for more.